honoured if you would join us.
Greetings and welcome to another YouTube episode of Film Stories with me, Dan Cooper. This week we are privileged to have on the channel Amanda Ford, who is the costume designer for, amongst other movies and projects, Her Smell, the Elisabeth Moss film, which not too many people have seen. It's a movie based on the kind of fictionalized career of a 90s grunge star. It's a really good film. Not too many people have seen it, but it's been a real critical success. So we thought maybe we would use this week's episode and of course an upcoming episode to dive into the production of that film and gain some insight from Amanda about the process of recreating the 90s through costume. So here we go. Enjoy. So I'm here with Amanda Ford, who's the costume designer on the excellent Her Smell. Was there was there a key film that you saw when you were younger, which influenced you in your kind of your formative years, or as you're kind of artistically inclined, were your influences broader? What made you kind of point in this direction?
Well, that's interesting. There were a bunch of like films that made big impressions on me as a kid. Like I was just talking to someone about this the other day. Like I black and white movies. Like I loved 42nd Street and like Busby Berkeley movies as like a really small child.
Yeah.
And like what else? Like someone's parents showed me like Almodovar movies as a really small child too, which was like slightly disturbing. And then like early Mike Leigh movies made a big impression.
Right. Yeah.
Like what else? I'm trying to think of what else like really like knocked my socks off as a kid, but I can come back to that. But really, what I was interested in is opera. Like I thought I was going to be an opera designer.
Okay.
That's what like Mozart operas are what like kind of turned my brain on as also like a really small child. So interesting. So like music and performance together.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely in most situations.
So Her Smell must have been a
so
dream
Her
project
Smell
for you.
Was like a dream project. Exactly. It was awesome.
And did without kind of wishing to reveal your era, but are you a child of the 90s? Because the film's set in the 90s, obviously. So did that affect your workflow, or did you come at this process from the point of view of someone that's kind of, well, you either experienced the era firsthand or someone that's kind of got an understanding of the spirit of the era?
So that's I'm happy to reveal my era. I'm like not shy about my age. I'm a child of the 90s. I was like born in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So I graduated high school in like 1993. I graduated college in 1998. So I was like prime age to like I was in it. And I had all sorts of friends that I would like talk to, reminisce with about college. And I was like, what were those like terrible bands you were listening to? And like, do you remember what scenes you were looking at? And it just like, it was like very, very real. But so like, I'm a bit in terms of like the production team and like the director, like I was on the older side, so it was like, I was in it in a way that they were all sort of like much younger during the 90s than I was.
Right.
So like,
So you were the authority on set.
Well, it was just like they had rose-colored glasses where I was like,
right.
It was actually really ugly.
Yeah.
Like, it was like really ugly, excruciating.
Yeah.
That's kind of why it was wonderful.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of like the whole Stranger Things effect. Like the Duffer Brothers have created that. It's almost like a nostalgic view of the 80s. The same's true of the 90s revival at the moment. There's almost a kind of like you sort of rose-tinted retrospective view of it, but it wasn't all wonderful, the fashion and the music, some of it. I'm a child of the 90s too.
And like painful and
yeah. And speaking of that, music and fashion tend to be cyclical anyway. I'm definitely not an authority on music, but some of the costumes in the film that you designed, even though the film's set in the 90s, you seem to kind of reach back into the 80s and even the 70s. I'm guessing that was a conscious choice. How much did you want to nod to other musical eras?
Yeah, it was a conscious choice. I mean, like, I just remember, like, in terms of what I was, like, sort of like discovering and listening to in the 90s. There was definitely like a serious 70s revival happening during the 90s. You know, it was like, you know, bell bottoms and like funk music.
Projects that you've worked on in this one, some of the actors they came from the world of fashion, so you were effectively putting your costumes onto models. And did that for someone obviously with I guess more than a passing interest in the world of fashion? Was that an ambition realized, or was it terrifying?
It was terrifying, actually. I mean, it's like, and it was intimidating, and it was also so for me, I love working with actors, and that's like one of the real pleasures of the process, because they have good ideas, and like I'm able to give them like part of their physicality and like how a costume feels and how it looks. And I've been doing this for a while, so like I'm very familiar with I have a bunch of experience in the process that like a film actor like Elisabeth Moss, or like a theater actor or theater trained actor like Gail Rankin. You know, I'm familiar with those processes. They're like, I know that I can give them what they need or talk through them, and I'm like pretty familiar with what questions they're going to ask, and how it's going to go. And so like I'm comfortable walking into those situations. But I don't have a fashion background, and so like I didn't know what Agnes or Cara were going to need or want from me in terms of their process, you know, and how that was going to match with like the sequence, the conversations, like the visuals, and it turned out I didn't need to be intimidated at all, and they couldn't have been like lovelier or more, you know, wonderful or creative and fun to work with. But they each were very different from one another. Cara was hilarious. She could just put anything on and looked great, and she sort of like didn't even. It's almost like she didn't see it. It was just like kind of fun, and she relaxed into everything, and just was very natural, and you know, did express enthusiasm for certain things over others, but just kind of loved it all. And Aggie is like so thoughtful and really involved, and so interesting, because like we both had this like attraction to things that were like strange or uncomfortable or curious, you know. So it was like about getting it both aesthetically pleasing, but also like edging towards discomfort. And she did have a lot of opinions, and we did go like back and forth on stuff. And you know, I just remember there was like a whole process of getting the right shoes for her, because that really affected like how she stood and how she was like able to perform with her instrument, and like how she felt. And so she was like, it was like a really amazing, wonderful, rewarding process for me, and kind of different than the other actresses.
Thanks for tuning in this week. There will be more from Amanda regarding insights into the production of Her Smell in an upcoming episode. If you haven't seen Her Smell, I do urge you to check it out. It's a really great snapshot of the kind of grunge punk scene of the 90s, with some great performances. If you want more film stories, do check out the website filmstories.co.uk for long form writing and news stories every single day. On top of that, there's Film Stories print magazine. This issue is selling like hotcakes, so get your hands on your copy quickly. Film Stories Junior, if you want to have a look at the world's, as far as we know, the world's only magazine written for and aimed at young people regarding film. On top of that, of course, you can find us on Twitter at Film Stories Pod, and the Simon's Amazing Podcasts at a podcast downloader of your choice. That is it from me. Please follow and subscribe if you enjoyed that and you want more. Otherwise, I will see you here next week with another YouTube episode of Film Stories. Bye bye.